Hi everyone. In this lesson we're going to be doing some questions about the equation of a circle. Remember, this is the equation that we'll be working with for our circle here, where the centre point has coordinate hk and the radius has value r. So let's have a look at a typical question that we might be given. If we might be given something like this: x take 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 16, and our job is to state the centre and then the radius and then do a small sketch. So the centre of the circle would be, remember the formula is x subtract h, so the value of h is here just positive 2, and if I wanted to write this as subtract, it would be y subtract negative 3. So the coordinates of centre are the opposite of the same numbers but opposite sign. The radius will be the square root of 16, 4. Now don't say plus or minus, it wouldn't make sense to have a negative radius. So to do a quick sketch of this thing, I would mark a point at 2 steps and then negative 3 steps. So there's my centre point, and a radius of 4 means I'd get to there, and I'd also get 4 steps below. So there, I'd get 4 steps to the left, there, 4 steps to the right, and I'll try to draw in a circle there as best as I can. And that's my x-axis and that's my y-axis. So that's a pretty straightforward one. Let's try something a bit more interesting. Sometimes we get given questions that are expanded out rather than factorised. So we might have x squared plus y squared minus 6. Sorry, I should have said 6x then. Minus 6x plus 4y plus 9 equals 0. Now it's not obvious at all what's going to happen. I'll reorder the terms here. So I'll put the x squared and then the minus 6x. I'll leave a bit of room. I'll put the y squared. I'll put the plus 4y. I'll leave a little bit of room. And then I'll transpose that 9 to the other side of the equation. So this is starting to look a little bit like a quadratic formula here and another quadratic here. I'm going to complete the square. So to remember, when we complete the square, we halve this number, so that would be negative 3. We square it, that would be 9, and we add that on, don't we? Now I'll have to add 9 to the other side of the equation as well to keep things balanced. So this number was introduced by me as a way of completing the square for this part of the equation. Now let's do this one. We have y squared plus 4y. Divide this by 2, you get 2. Square it, you get 4. So add 4 and add 4. Again, I introduced this number and the same one on the other side to keep things balanced. Why did I introduce that number? So I could complete the square on this part of the equation. Now, completing the square for this one would read x take 3 squared. Completing the square for this one would be y plus 2 squared, and all of that stuff would equal 4. Now that looks like the equation of a circle. The centre point would be at 3, negative 2, and the radius would be, the square root of 4 would be 2. So that's, well, it's almost the same as what I did earlier, isn't it? It turned out to be not quite the same because I had a 16 there and this one ended up with a 4. But the previous two parts were almost the same. So if I had to sketch that now, x would have to be 3 this time. Y would be negative 2, so there's my centre. A radius of 2 will get me to that point, to that point, to that point, and to that point. So there's my circle. Okay, that's enough now. Thanks for watching.